is a well-known fact. Northwest Arkansas is booming.
Yeah, in fact, an average of 30 people are moving to the region every single day. And that growth comes with a number of impacts, both good and bad.
New at 10 tonight, 5 News reporter Jose Carranza shows us how this has transformed the housing market and the impact that is having on our workforce.
The latest Arvest Skyline report shows that the average Northwest Arkansas home price has reached nearly $400,000. That's up 27% from a year ago. It's a trend that has some community stakeholders concerned and searching for solutions. Mike Warner of Lindsay & Associates has worked in the Northwest Arkansas real estate market for almost 2 decades. Over the years, he's seen the ups and downs, with a very clear trend recently.
Over the last few years, 2 years in particular, we've seen a tremendous price increase and lack of inventory.
Rigo Mendoza has experienced the effects brought on by the lack of inventory after moving to the area 5 years ago.
You can come and see a house that you wanted to buy, and 3 hours later you want to make an offer, but you realize that that house has already, like 10 or 15 different offers.
It's really driven the prices up.
So, just how much have prices risen over the last 10 years? Well, let's use this 4-bedroom, single-family home in Bentonville as an example. In 2011, it sold for $258,000. Then, in 2015, it sold for $274,000. Now, just a little over 10 years later, it sold for $506,000 in July, double the price it was 10 years ago. Trends leading to concerns about gentrification. Everyone wants to move to that area, and it kind of pushes everyone, the essential workers that are needed for that area, out. Do you believe that could happen here, or what are we doing to not have that?
Yeah, Jose, it's not whether it can happen, it is happening. Those folks who are in critical roles for all of our day-to-day lives are being committed to further commutes. They're being committed to housing prices that when they took that role, they didn't expect. The end result is they're spending a lot of time commuting, they're spending a lot of money on transportation costs just to get to and from a home that they can afford. The Workforce Housing Center is laser focused on creating housing options for our workforce.
Duke McLarty was appointed Executive Director of the Workforce Housing Center last year after the Northwest Arkansas Council decided to address affordable housing issues. So what's the solution? Many would agree more inventory is a good start. But with the pandemic slowing down the world and the supply chain, Duke says it's been difficult to keep up with demand.
It is my hope as we move from the pandemic, some of the material side prices start to come down and start to stabilize. When that happens, I think we as a region need to be ready.
The Workforce Housing Center is specifically working to bring more people into cities and not out.
Our land in kind of the main municipalities, primarily along the 49 corridor, needs to be put to a better use before we continue to expand outwards with our housing. The cities and their zoning have not been significantly kind of re-examined and rethought in some instances since their zoning was put in place.
Because even if some locals don't want more transplants making their way to Northwest Arkansas,
the reality is our region is going to nearly double in the next 20 years. Now is the time for us to think strategically about where that growth is going to happen and what this region is going to look like when the next 10,000, when the next 50,000 new residents to Northwest Arkansas arrive.
McLarty says the Workforce Housing Center is already working to inform developers on what kind of housing can best handle the growth. He also points out a need for updated infrastructure as more people make their way to Northwest Arkansas. Jose Carranza, 5 News.